We want to classify the given function as a polynomial function, a rational function, or a root function, and then find its domain. Write the domain in interval notation. The function we're working with is g of x equals the 8th root of 9 minus x. So I don't know if that makes the classification of the function obvious, but we have the 8th root, and that's going to make this a root function. Now, more specifically, we want to pay attention to the index of the root, because the index classifies it even further, and we find the domain differently when we have an even index versus an odd index. So 8 is an even number, and so we have a root function with an even index. A root function is a function of this form, the nth root of some expression g of x, and we are doing an even root. And what we want to pay attention to is that when we take an even root of a negative number, that's going to result in a complex or imaginary number. Right now, we're only interested in real function values, and so we are not going to consider these imaginary or complex numbers. So that means that we need to restrict what is allowed inside of our radical or underneath the radical. We want only non-negative values, 0 or positive. So when we're trying to find the domain, we're going to create an inequality where the expression underneath the radical is greater than or equal to 0. And when we solve that inequality, it will lead us to the domain. So for our function, g of x equals the 8th root of 9 minus x. 9 minus x is the expression underneath the radical. And we're going to create that inequality. 9 minus x is greater than or equal to 0. And solve. So we're going to subtract 9. That gives negative x is greater than or equal to negative 9. Divide by negative 1 on both sides. We're dividing by a negative, which means we need to reverse the inequality symbol. And that gives x is less than or equal to 9. On the number line, we would mark 9 with a closed circle, a filled-in circle, because we're going to include 9 in this set, and we want to shade all the values that are less than 9. So if we want to write that in our interval notation, that will be negative infinity to 9 with a bracket on the 9. So that bracket has the same meaning as the filled-in circle. So we have negative infinity to 9, including 9 as the domain of this root function with an even index. Thank you for checking out my videos. Have a great day.